Hello, welcome back to the channel. Please like, please share, and please subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. Okay, this show's titled "What Are FSG Edwards and Hughes Waiting For?" I think the clue's in the question. So you're going to get three shows off me this week. You're going to get the pre-match warm-up tomorrow against Karabag. And also after that will be the post-match. So things might move quickly this week, depending on where we are. So I believe it's time for the head coach to be changed. I honestly do. It's time to relieve him of his duties. Okay, I can see you looking at this and already made your mind up because I've got an opinion about the head coach, and you have your opinion. But I always do these constructively, and I hope this comes that way. Now, if you disagree with me, please leave it in the comments so I understand why you're disagreeing with me. So, as I said, why? Not in any particular order. But this is a fundamental one for me. After watching Bournemouth's game, I think there's a disconnect between the head coach Arne Slots and the players. It's there's just got to be something isn't right, and I think, and I'm only guessing, but I've just got a feeling that the players aren't playing for him anymore. Salah kicks off before he goes off, but gets dropped. Then he goes off. He comes back. Salah's still not the same player. Don't know whether he's talking to Slot or not. Robbo wants to leave in this window and play more football. He as in Slot, sort of like drops one on one of the academy players who gets into the first team by saying he's got better options. Those better options come out of their positions to go into a right back position. It's just on and on. So we played 23 games this season. We won 10, drawn 6, lost 7, scored 35 goals, conceded 32. We're on +3. We were, before the game at Bournemouth, we were, what were we? 10 wins, 6 draws, 6 losses, and we scored, was it 33 goals and conceded 28? We had a +5. So look at us now. We've dropped 2 places. Man United have taken over us, and so have Chelsea. And they've changed their head coaches recently to get that bit of a sort of like buzz back in the place. And it's hard to say, but I did say we needed to win this one at Bournemouth to keep the chasing pack at arm's length. What we've done is we've not done that, have we? We've let 2 of the chasing pack just jump us after their performances this weekend. And it's not going to look any better in the long run for me. 5 wins in 4 months. Last victory, Wolves, 27th of December. Since then, we've had, 3 draws, 1 defeat. That's not good enough. It really isn't good enough for Liverpool Football Club. Conceding set-piece goals, time and time again. Last-minute set-piece goals. Throwing at the weekend. Throwing at Fulham. Last-minute goal against Manchester United at home. last minute goal from a corner against Leeds. It's not luck, that. It isn't luck at all. So, and then what happens? He gets rid of his set piece coach, who wasn't a set piece coach. He just got put in that position. I bet Aaron Briggs will never ever become a set piece coach anywhere else that he plies his coaching trade. In September, he spoke about how his team could break the low blocks, and there's an interview that I saw that came out from then, and how his team is managing to break the low blocks and working really well. Well, guess what? He's now saying his teams can't break the low blocks. Week in and week out, we heard that. Just like the set piece fiasco. Week in and week out, we heard that. I see nothing coming off the training pitch into games to rectify this, if that is the case. We've all got eyes, we all see that. For, the stats flying about how poor we are, and that's just one of the things. 13 games unbeaten, the most boring undefeated run I've ever known at the club. It really, really has. If I told somebody that I'd never seen before, hey, we're on 13 game unbeaten run, wow, you must be flying, would have been their reaction. Far from it. We've not flown, have we? We've never got to grips with being top of the table. We never got grips to starting going down to 6th, 7th, 8th place. We never got to grips with being in 4th place, and it's just endless, absolute endless stuff. Here's a stat for you that I saw today. We've had 130 corners, and we've only scored 2 goals. 130 corners this season, and only, our corners were abysmal against Bournemouth anyway. Mo Salah's taking corners. Yeah, that just sums it up for you. Look, on the pre-match warm-up, I said that we needed to win this game. We desperately, desperately needed to win this game, and it just didn't come, did it? Absolutely didn't come. Don't want to go over old ground about the game, but I did do the post-match straight after the game because I needed to get things off my chest, and I never listened to Arne Slots' presser, never listened to Virgil van Dijk's presser, but come on, lads. Come on. The wind played havoc in the first goal. Honestly? Really? That's just a piss poor excuse for me. And not to react to it. It virtually hit the lad in the face, and he still got his cross in. So yeah, that was really, really poor for me. And obviously the second goal we know about, Endo not coming on for 7 minutes and we're down to 10 men. And that's another thing I say about the players are not playing for this manager. They've given up on him, because there's no way that you would allow to play in a professional game at the highest level for 7 minutes without getting your sub on. Look, let's look at the next 7 games, or it could be 9 games. It depends how it goes on Wednesday night. Karabag on Wednesday. We need to win it. We lose it. We draw it. We could be in 9th or 10th position. And there comes the extra 2 games in February. And that will definitely kill our season. It would definitely kill our season. I said this team isn't good enough to win the Premier League. I said it back in November. I said this team would not win the Champions League. because there are far better teams than us in the Champions League. You're looking at me and saying, but we've done really well in the Champions League. But I tell you what, if we turn up like we did against PSV, and I was at that game, no. And that's how we're turning up in games. So yeah, game after Carabao, we play Newcastle at home Saturday night, 8 p.m. kickoff for the TV. Incidentally, the Carabao game, there's lots of tickets flying about for that. Lots of tickets for that Champions League game. Man City come a week after the Newcastle game, Sunday, the 8th of February, 4:30 kickoff. And then we go away to Sunderland on Wednesday the 11th. And that is a 8:15 kickoff. Televised game, and making a trek to the northeast. So for an 8:15 kickoff. And then we got Brighton on Saturday the 14th of Feb. Another 8 o'clock kickoff for the TVs people. And then we have Forest away on the 21st. 3 o'clock kickoff. So, and then the final game in February is at home to West Ham. And that's another 28th of Feb. And that's another 3 p.m. kickoff. So potentially 15 points to play for. I'm struggling to find 9 points from those 5 Premier League games with this head coach getting a team to pick play and win some of these games. So we are really up against it now. We are in real trouble, and this head coach isn't going to get us out of it. It's going to become worse before it gets better, unless we do something about it. Look, the extra games probably, if we don't beat Carabao and we don't beat them well, and we don't take that performance into the Newcastle game at home on Saturday night, and they turn us over, that is just the same as when we beat Marseille and we turned up at Bournemouth and didn't perform. So there might be 2 extra games. First one would be 17th and 18th, and then the following one 24th, 25th. So just looking at the dates there, in between Forest and West Ham, be possibly a midweek game in the Champions League, and the one week before that, between the 14th and the 21st, there'll be a midweek extra game for these sets of players that the manager is now making excuses that they are playing too much football. But he likes small squads. We had a small squad, supposedly, last season. 16, 17 players he used on a regular basis. I've got another stat for you a bit further on about players, because although it's not down to Arne Slots, this everything, okay, we can't do anything about the tragedy of Jota, but we have to look upstairs as well. FSG do sack managers, head coaches. They've sacked Roy Hodgson, sacked Kenny Dalglish in his second stint, and they sacked Brendan Rodgers halfway through. So, or maybe not halfway through, but in October. Now, I'm not all for this interim manager coming in rubbish. rumours going about. They've already spoke to Stevie G. He's waiting to come in, and they're waiting to get in Xabi Alonso. They've already started speaking to him. There's all crap going on social about who's going to be Liverpool's next manager. So I'm for, if there's a person out there who wants to come and play, who wants to come and manage or be a head coach at Liverpool Football Club, and they've told you that, go and get him now. Don't piss about with bringing in anybody as an interim. I mean, look, United and Chelsea, incidentally, who took over from us this weekend in 4th and 5th place, have changed their head coaches, and they have got a bounce from those head coaches because United have won 2 games. Look, beat Man City and beat Arsenal, the top 2 teams. Chelsea had a couple of good wins under Leroy Senior, and now they'll be thinking about having the last 2 Champions League places, because it will probably end up being 5 places in next season's Champions League, and we will miss out. We'll go into the Europa League. People are saying that's disastrous. We'll lose £50 million. It's £2 million a win for every win that you do in the Champions League. So people are saying it affects our what we spend. You know, we've just, Deluche have just put Liverpool on top of the tree for the highest ranking intake of money coming into the club. First time ever. Top of Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, and we're in a bit of a state, you know, when you look at it that way. So, yeah, will it affect the next person that comes in at Liverpool? I don't know. It depends what Edwards and Hughes have got lined up for that person, and yeah, it's like I say, if there's a manager or a head coach that's available, go and get him now. Don't piss about. Get him in the door. Get him galvanising this group of players. There is nothing wrong with the squad, quality-wise. It's a young enough squad, but it needs taking in a different direction. Training must be boring for these lads, because it must be the same old, same old. I've seen the training videos, and what do I see? I see big medicine balls being thrown over the goals before they start doing the ball work stuff and all that lot. I've seen little tennis ball games, throwing tennis balls at each other and things like that. Come on, we need to get a grip of this training thing, and we need to get players out there wanting to play, wanting to enjoy the football, bit of freedom of expression. Look, the squad's too thin as it is, right? We all know that. Was it 8 players that were sold or loaned out last season? Or was it 10? We only bought 7 in. But just look at the players that we sold and let go, and just look at the contributions that they made last season. Luis Diaz, he played 50 games for us last season. Kwanzaa, now when I say played, that means off the bench or starting games, okay, or even finishing games, playing full 90 minutes. Kwanzaa, 25 games last season. Elliott, involved in 28 games. Alexander-Arnold, 44 games. Darwin Núñez, 47 games. Kostas Tsimikas, 29 games. And Jota was involved in 37. So it's not fatigue. It can't be. And that's the latest excuse that Arne Slots using up. It is definitely not fatigue. Look, Edwards and Hughes can't get away with it as well. You know, they're much to blame as well. Slots said that him, Edwards and Hughes were all aligned about the transfer business and about this transfer window. And that's where the problem lies with people above Slot. If you cannot see that we have an issue in certain areas of the pitch, we needed to get it sorted out. You are not telling me that there's not a centre half out there who would come in and do something for the club. Do you remember that Ben Davies that we signed from Preston? Okay, he come under the when Klopp was in charge, but I think Klopp thought we'd signed the wrong Ben Davies. He never played for Liverpool, did he? He was shipped out to Rangers or something. We paid 2 million for him, and yeah. So you're not telling me that there are not players out there that would come and play for Liverpool Football Club. Here lies the problem now, and this is what I'm saying. Get the head coach in now so we can start looking for him to start working his magic on getting players in. If you don't, we are going to be in real trouble, because we're going to be becoming a laughing stock this season, because the likes of United and Chelsea have overtaken us, and we're competing with the likes of Brentford, Fulham, Sunderland, and no disrespect to any of those clubs, all the problems lie in-house for me, and that needs to be sorted out, and it needs to be sorted out pronto. Yes, I'll get behind the team on Wednesday. Yes, I'll get behind the team on Saturday. I'm struggling to find where we're going to get the out of 15 points next month, where we're going to get 9 points, because we are in a massive rut and we ain't going to get out of it unless something drastically changes, and that has to happen soon. The Robbo situation this weekend has been an absolute joke. He wanted to go. Club were listening. We're listening to Tottenham's offer. Robbo was talking to it's just pure stupidity if that is the case. Club were looking at bringing Simicast back. People are saying it's all dead. It's been U-turned, and Liverpool have pulled the plug on it. I've not heard that from Liverpool. I've not heard that at all. There's no statement from Liverpool that Robbo will stay till excuse me, the end of the season, and he'll be off on a free. It's just madness. We've not bought anybody in this window. We're not going to. The transfer window shuts February the 2nd, apparently. So we've just got over a week to. It's not over a week. It's less than a week to go. And here we are. We are in the doldrums, and it's not going to get any better, and we have to accept it. No good screaming from the rooftops. I've said my piece now. I think it's time for Arne Slots to move on. And I'm not, and I've said this before on here, and I'll say it again, I'm not into all this, but he has credit in the bank crap. You live and die by results in the football world. You know, there's no favouritism at all. And this is only just going one way. Going one way. And another thing I'd just like to say on Slot, I don't think he's had a real affinity with the supporters. You know, he's a bit cold and calculated. And to be a gaffer for Liverpool Football Club, you've got to have a rapport with the supporters. Yes, we had the best manager that we've had in 30 years in Jurgen Klopp. But do you know what? Jurgen Klopp used to give us a bollocking, didn't he? If he was not happy why you're leaving early, you'd know about it in the next press conference. You'd know about it in the match day programme. He'd be fisting up, pumping his chest out to the supporters, get singing, get behind this team. We don't get that from Slot, from the sidelines. And yeah, so we can only support the team in how they are playing on the pitch. And if they're playing good football, the songs will be out, the accolades will be given to the player, the accolades will be given to the head coach and his coaching staff. But unfortunately, it's got to this part of the season where nothing's going to happen for this team this season. You're saying we're still in the Champions League, we've still got the FA Cup. Really, honestly, we need to give our heads a wobble if we think we're going to win any of those tournaments. I said earlier in an earlier show that Slot was given the opportunity to probably save his skin by winning the FA Cup or the Champions League, and we got Brighton at home in the FA Cup. They will be bringing a strong team to Anfield, and on Saturday the 14th, and they will be up for it. We need to be up for it, but we can't. We can't be up for it for going away in Europe at Inter Milan, Marseille, doing the business, and then not doing it in a Premier League game the following game. Totally unacceptable. Okay, you know my thoughts now. I want Arne Slots to be removed, and I want a new head coach to be brought in because the players have stopped playing for him. And that's my take on it. Let me know your thoughts. Am I right? Am I wrong? Do you want him to stay? Do you want him to be given another chance? Yeah, just let me know your thoughts. I'll speak to you guys tomorrow, hopefully in a bit more of a jovial mood, which is a massive must-win game against Karabakh. And just saying that, let's not laugh at this team that's coming to Anfield on Wednesday. You've only got to look at Bodo Glimt, who took Man City to the sword last week and give them a hiding. And Man City need to do some work to solidify their Champions League position. Okay, enjoy your Monday evening, and I'll speak to you guys tomorrow. Up the Reds.